Alright, I'm here with a review of the Fenix PD31. Relatively new offering from Fenix. A lot of people have been waiting for this. And a lot of people are trying to debate and decide whether they should get this based on some of the other lights they have. A lot of people that have, for instance, either the TK12 or the TK15 have been debating whether they also needed the PD31 or whether it would be redundant or which one to get out of the three even for that matter. So I'll kind of try and go through some of that in this video, kind of help people make some decisions whether they should get this one or also this one or not this one, and kind of help people through some of the thought process there. Here's the standard Fenix packaging. Has some of the highlights on the box here. 304 lumens. Gives you two battery choices, either two CR123 batteries or a 118-650 battery. Gives you two modes, 6 levels of brightness. Throws 140 meters. 200 hours runtime, and waterproof, the IPX8 rating. That's the box. Open it up here. Inside we have the instruction manual. Warranty card here. The standard Fenix belt pouch. Velcro it here. Put it through here. Inside they also give you a lanyard, extra tail cap push button, and 2 extra O-rings. Nice touch from Fenix. With my Surefires I get nothing, I just get the light. Nice of a light as it is. And then here's the light itself. Really not too big of a light, it's a nice size. 4.75 inches by 0.9 inches diameter. Here it is in my hand. For those of you that have the PD20, a little bit bigger, but about the same thickness. It's with the two CR123 batteries, it's 3.3 ounces, so it's really not very heavy. That's sort of the standard Fenix construction for the PD series. Has this U-shaped tail cap with the push button just slightly recessed into it. And what that allows you to do is to tail stand it. It's a little wobbly, as you can see there, but it does tail stand as compared to this TK15, which will not tail stand at all because the button is not recessed. So a nice feature on the PD31. It has an IPX8 rating, as I mentioned. Has their standard rhombic knurling both on the tail cap and on the body here to give you a little bit better grip on it. Unscrew in the back. Oops. There's the O-ring here. Helps with that weatherproofing. Grips, or the threads. Feel nice and sturdy. 2 CR123 batteries. There it is looking into it. Get this back on. Pocket clip. On the side here, the Fenix logo. Pocket clip does move around depending on where you want to put it, unlike on the PD20, which does move around but will kind of lock on this flat spot. If I had one improvement for this pocket clip, the one thing I like on the PD20 here is that the pocket clip runs on this flat spot. So if you put it into your pocket, it has a nice smooth surface to go along. Whereas some of the other lights I have, like this zebra light for instance, I'm afraid this heatsink where the your pant pocket is going to run along is going to be torn up. The pocket is going to be torn up by this heatsink. So it's a nice feature on the PD20 here. It runs along a nice flat surface. Not too bad on the PD31 here. If I could improve one thing, I might make this area right in here where the pocket clip runs along just a little bit smoother. It's probably not a big deal in the end. These pocket clips tend to not be too tight, not like that zebra light, but it does go over a little bit of a ledge here. Again, not a huge deal, but if I wanted to nitpick something on the light. Moving forward here, the head here has these scalpings so that it will not roll. It'll keep it fairly stable. Opening it up. Another O-ring in front here. Take the batteries out of the front if you like. Here's the inside there. And on the head here, the front of it has the crenellations, 5 of them. Not too deep. You know, if you had to use this for a some type of weapon to strike someone with, these are not great for that. You know, they're certainly not as big as the ones on the TK15, or not as sharp as the ones on this Surefire backup. So there's something. Better than nothing, but not great in comparison. They would help, I suppose, if the light was on. You might be able to see from underneath it that it's on. Head here is anti-reflective coating on both sides of the lens. It has the XPG R5 LED. It's rated to throw 140 meters. You know, as I mentioned in I think the TK12 video, I'm really not sure how they calculate these distances because there's so many things that vary that will depend on how far it's actually going to throw. You know, the weather, if it's raining, if it's foggy, if there's a lot of particulates in it. So what I mostly use those distances for is a relative comparison. You know, the TK15 here, it says will throw, I think, 210 meters. This one is rated at 140. So it kind of gives you just a relative idea from one to the other. This light, with the XPG R5 and the reflector in there, is going to have more flood than throw, whereas this TK15 has more throw than flood. It has a much more focused beam as compared to this PD31. As I mentioned initially, the run times on this, it does have several modes. It has a general mode and a turbo mode. And the way you switch between those is you just rotate the head just a little bit. Just tighten it and loosen it just a little bit. And in the general mode, starts at a very nice low 2 lumens, which is great. You know, on the PD20, the lowest it goes is 9 lumens. And that 9 lumens is actually pretty bright. If you're in the dark, if you're reading menus, it's surprisingly bright. This 2 lumens is much nicer, much more useful. I very much prefer it. If they came out with a PD20 that went down to 9 lumens, I'd probably buy another one. And it will do that 9 lumens for, or that 2 lumens, I'm sorry, for 200 hours. It goes on forever with that. You can then half press to go to the next brightness, 67 lumens for 16 hours, and then 124 lumens for 18 hours, 16 minutes, and then half press again, and it will go into the SOS mode. They don't give you a time on that, but I suppose it goes for plenty long, somewhere 10 hours or something, I'm guessing. And then if you half press again, oops, goes back to the 2 lumens. Now to get to the turbo mode, all you do is you tighten this, and that bumps you right up to that 304 lumens, nice and bright. And half press it and it goes into 304 lumen strobe. It'll do this 304 lumens for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Again, it doesn't give you a time on the strobe. And untwisting it'll go back down to the general mode, down to 2 lumens. So there's the user interface, there's the different modes it goes through. You know, this is a very versatile light. Comparing it to some of the other ones, like this TK15 or this PD20, it really comes down to what you're going to be using it for and what user interface you like. And while I'm talking about this, I'll go ahead and throw up some comparison pictures comparing the TK15, the TK12, the PD31, and the PD20. I know a lot of people have been debating on the relative size of each, and so I'll cycle through some different pictures here so you can get an idea. So as I was mentioning, it really depends on, as far as which one you get, what you're using it for. Are you looking for a tactical purpose, where maybe the TK15 will be good? The TK15 has a push button user interface, whereas you bring it on and you cycle through. The TK15 also has a forward click design where you push it forward and it comes on, so you can do a momentary instant on type thing. Again, more of a tactical type use. The PD31 is a reverse click design, as is the PD20, meaning that you push it, and as you release it, that's when it goes into its its brightness, or that's when it comes on. Push it and release it. So you can't do a momentary on with this in the same way that you can with the TK12 or the TK15. Again, the PD20, same thing. So it depends what you're going to be using this for. Are you going to be using it for a tactical type, defense type light, something to leave on your nightstand? You know, if you're using it for just a general purpose, outdoor light, keep it in your car, it's would be perfect for that. You don't need that tactical momentary on type thing. You don't need to strike someone with it. You don't need a larger flashlight that you can do that with. So it would be fine for that. You know, even potentially as an everyday carry light. This PD20 here, I carry this almost every day. It's perfect in my pocket. It's not very big, it's not very wide. But this PD31 in comparison is not much different. The way the pocket clips work out, you put them next to each other, it's only about a ½ inch longer sticking down into your pocket. Sticking out on top, it's obviously going to stick out a lot farther. You know, maybe an inch or so. But really the size, it's similar thickness. And, I mean, it's heavier, but not a super amount. So if you need a brighter light for everyday carry, you need 304 lumens compared to the 190 of that PD20. It's not that bad of a choice depending on how you're dressed, what you have to put it in. You know, if you're going to put it in your jeans pocket, it might be a little bit big for that. But if you're dressed with something a little bit more, you know, capable of carrying some bigger lights, it's not bad. Or you could use that that belt pouch, I suppose. So, you know, I've taken these lights outside, I've done some comparisons, and as far as brightness between the TK12, the TK15, and the PD31, there's really not a significant brightness between them. The PD15 has a more focused light. The TK15 has the more focused light, whereas the PD or the TK12 is a little bit broader, and the PD31 is probably the most flooded of the three. So again, depending on what you're looking for it for. Really though, you can't go wrong with any of the lights. They're all great lights. The TK15 and TK12 are certainly going to be heavier and larger, whereas the PD31 is much lighter, much smaller. So it just kind of comes down to what you're needing it for, as I said. They're all roughly the same price. They're all in that $60 to $80 range. You can find them a little bit cheaper on the internet, various places. I think the PD31 retails at $77. So that's about it for the PD31. Great light. If you have any questions about the 3 or the 4 or really any of them, throw them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. So thanks for watching.